to order. Do we have enough? Do we have somebody on the phone?
We have Ginny on the phone.
Ginny, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still
Oh, good.
That was an enthusiastic step.
To reaffirm.
Oh, yes,
Because Sal has said he cannot.
okay.
You want to amend the agenda.
All right, well,
Okay, sorry.
all right, well, you know, wait a minute, can we do that as part of my remarks, and then we'll just have it done? Yeah, well, we'll get to that when we get to it. Okay, we come to order. How about the approval of the last minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, done. Okay, my remarks, let me bring it down to, let's get back to this, you know, the approval of previous committee memberships.
We have to amend the agenda.
We have to
It's not on
amend,
the agenda.
but I can make it part of my remarks.
Oh, is that what you were saying?
Yeah,
Oh, I suppose.
yeah.
Yeah.
Part of my remarks, I want to go back to the
Just do what you want
the
to.
confirmation of the committees, and apparently on the road committee, we have to take another look at it, because Sally Casa says he can't take it, he can't take on those duties, and he wants to step back. So now we need a new chairman of the road committee. Group we have. Group Sally Casa used to be.
Oh, Sal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sal.
yeah.
He
So these are
stepped
the
back.
people that are currently on the committee.
Okay. Well, we have Steve Rose, Jack Andre, Mike Snap, and Asha. Who wants to be the chairman? Come on, somebody step up, step forward.
I nominate Steve.
I was going to do that, but it's not my place, so.
Okay, we have.
Can I do that without a conflict? Is that?
I don't know why not. You're the one I would call, and actually I did send you an email a bit ago to ask you to look at
Okay,
something. So,
so,
yeah.
yeah.
Makes sense.
Is there a second? Do we need to second it?
I'll
I
second.
think so.
All in favor?
What am I voting on?
Well, Susan, you just got a job. Do you accept? I accept.
Oh, all right, good. Good, well, anyway, we're at the voting part.
I couldn't hear that. What was
We're voting Steve Rose, Mr. Rose, to be the chairman of the Roads Committee. And he has agreed to take the position. It has been nominated and seconded. And now we're voting. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Done. And that'll be the end of the president's remarks. Okay, office update.
Drum Point Day, which was July 6th, I think. Total cost was $419 for us for food. Had to have the tractor picked up again, second time in the last 3 or 4 months. Cost of $318. This is the riding mower that we have. Talking to the guy that picks it up, he thought we're fine, it's not time to think about a new one. But maybe, you know, if this continues, we might want to think about it for the next year's budget. Or, I don't know, at what point it becomes an issue. Just something to keep in the back.
I saw him riding mowing.
Yeah, it's working very well. Joe has actually a push mower that he would donate to the association. He would like to have a push mower to just do here and there. He'll donate it, but it needs some work. And I thought rather than having the guy pick it up from St. Mary's County that does the repair, Jimmy Balanakis, who is 2 doors down, is the guy that always comes to the cleanup day and takes the mowers and sees what he can do. Can we, I don't know what we would pay him. Can I ask for a price, I guess?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
That'd be great.
I have one I can donate to. It's fairly new.
Okay, well, maybe let's see which one works
I don't have any
best.
grass.
Okay. I don't either. It's a wonderful.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing to have a lawnmower on no grass.
Yeah.
There you go. I have a
I have
blower.
a blower
I have a
there.
blower.
but
That's
That's
a winning
There
combination.
you go.
a 6-hour job sometimes.
So I sent out mid-year statements to 304 property owners, starting to trickle in. I just mailed them on Thursday. Joe, again, has material that when he removed that fence that used to be at the beach, and we replaced with the boulders, he has enough good wood along with some of the wood from those older picnic tables to build two pretty much brand new tables. Do we wanna do that, or,
Will it take up too much space?
well, no, instead of, like, he'd cannibalize the tables that
oh,
are there.
Okay.
I think the tops, I guess, on one is pretty good, and various things are fine, but between that and the new wood that he has, he wanted to build new tables, maybe over the winter. I don't have
Well,
to get.
the stuff that was in the tabletops were probably 2x6s.
They are.
And the stuff that was in the ground was 4x4s.
Yeah, those would be for the cross beams and.
He had boards going from each beam.
But I thought.
Oh, but I thought they were 2x4s, weren't they?
I don't think he's got the right wood.
Yeah, I don't think that's,
Okay.
I mean.
Shall I ask him for a plan to draw out what he has,
Well,
what he intends with what he has on hand?
Well,
I
yeah,
don't
I guess, I mean.
Well, but you know, on the other hand, if our tabletops are rotted, and we have enough 2x4s to do new tops,
Well, you could do it, I mean,
it's just a little narrow.
yeah. They're gonna
And they're wall, yeah.
easier, but.
Is it gonna look like a guy just put together a picnic table with some old wood?
You got it, that's exactly what Mike
Oh,
was saying.
sorry.
What's gonna happen is the
Me,
2x4s will warp a lot faster and a lot more than 2x6s, and so you'll have this sort of,
Shall we just say no then, and have him go ahead and remember that when we were at the beach the other day, have him put one of those boards beneath,
Yeah,
just have him do that, and be done with it?
yeah, I think so. I mean,
yeah, well, or ask him exactly what he's talking about, maybe he's not talking about doing
Well,
the
right,
tops.
yeah, so,
Yeah,
we'll find out more about what he's
More
thinking about doing.
yeah,
But the bottoms need to have the boards in
oh,
it.
yeah, maybe we have the right wood for the bottoms.
No. Those need 2x6s
Um,
to give you enough.
Yeah, I think he had talked about my buying a board or two, or whatever the measurement requires, remember when we were there.
Yeah, well, we gotta find out.
Okay,
Let's see.
and the
Looks
last,
nice.
right, the last thing I have, should we schedule a fall cleanup?
You mean the regular community pickup?
Yeah, the community cleanup that we have, or the,
The cleanups are always very successful and
They
very
are.
popular,
I
so.
think, yeah, people like it, it's not a nice
Okay.
community thing.
It's, well, you know, it saves people a run to the dump with
We did
big
pretty well
stuff.
last time, didn't we? I mean.
Oh, yeah, we always do. So, okay, I'll see what the county can do. A Saturday in September or October?
Maybe October.
I think October, September,
That's
September's
too
a
soon.
busy month.
That's too soon.
Well, and October 5th is Oktoberfest at the club,
Okay.
volunteers needed.
Okay.
I'm out of town from the 10th until the 14th of October. So that really, and I can't do it, well, now we're in November. So the 19th or 26th of October are the two.
Probably the 19th.
19th or
19th would probably be better,
That's
a little earlier.
Yeah,
See
okay,
see if we can do it.
okay.
If
Yeah,
not,
we
then we-
pay
Hopefully
for
the
both.
county is still doing that.
We pay for both bins now?
No, but the word was, because they take the metal recycling,
Right, yeah.
you know, they, whatever. Word was at the appeal landfills, they weren't sure that commissioners or whoever the powers are for something like that, or even going to allow the delivery anymore, because they have to bring in employees that they wouldn't ordinarily have to come in, and so on.
Well, they make money. on the
Well,
metal
I don't
bins.
know, apparently, maybe it's not enough to
Yeah,
offset the
maybe
cost.
it's not. Yeah.
So I'll see what they say. All right, that's it.
Yeah, well, if they stop supporting it,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
All right, any questions about office stuff? No? Okay, good, then let's go around the table, committee reports. Well, look at that. Steve is first and he's in the first chair.
Worked out great, didn't it? So first thing we have, for 12695 Mill Creek, we all agreed on that area having some work done for stormwater management. So we thought that there was a 4-inch pipe that was sticking out of the ground that we would be able to connect to allow the water to drain into this pipe on one side of the road, and then it build to the other side of the road where there's a main drain. I guess it's been built, it's got a grate and everything over it. They built it like 20 years ago.
Is that the one in the driveway?
No, it's actually, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. What's the address?
12695 Mill Creek Drive. So that's actually over,
Above Anchor.
yeah, above Anchor.
Oh,
Yeah, it's the other Mill Creek Drive.
the other one.
This was
Yeah.
Mills Creek. Yeah, well, this is Mills
So
Creek.
there's a low area there, and it really pulls up with a lot of water. And I think the agreement was they were gonna go in and they were gonna connect to this 4-inch pipe and build a small little French drain there so that the water could, go into this pipe and then across the street go to the main drain pipe. Well, that pipe didn't exist, but Mr. Hine, who lives over there, said he watched them do all the construction. He said the two pipes that come from across the street, and he shows exactly where they were, but you have to dig for them. So Grover needs to bring a backhoe out, and he's asking for another $500 on top of the $1,895 right now that we agreed on, because he needs to bring a backhoe out. So it would bring the price for that up to $23.95.
Seems to be no option.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it needs to be done.
If he needs a backhoe, he needs a backhoe.
Yeah. And he's already done a little, like he did bring his, he has some kind of flushing machine where he puts air pressure on it and water, and he brought that out and flushed out the pipe, but it doesn't go anywhere. And what Al says, that pipe just goes 20 feet down into the ground. And I guess it's just a breather for the French drain they built before, which is below ground. He said they dug all of that out and dumped a bunch of rock in there. And the hopes was that it was gonna, continue to drain and dissipate the water. And it probably worked for a while, but it's probably, all the sediments in it now. So we're gonna do something where we can actually just run it, to the other side of the street where there's a drain already in place.
Well, do we have a motion to approve the additional $500?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Unanimous, okay, we go ahead. Anything else?
Yes, one more thing, we did sign an agreement, I guess, with Shihai. They were planning to come out August 18th to start the project, and that's still in the plan, but we do have that storm coming up, and that may push his work back a week, maybe two. So we're still hoping for the 18th, but it's looking like it's gonna be after that, so a week or two after that, before they can start.
And I'll send a community email
The
to
core.
that effect, but hoping for the 18th, but weather may delay and so on.
Yeah, I mean, if we get all that rain we're supposed to get, then it's probably really gonna push it back.
Is that just pushing his other jobs out, is that the problem?
Yes, it is. So I guess he works by the weather, so.
So it seems like we should have some sort of a motion to affirm the fact that an email, well, just mention that it was motioned and approved in email, so we can get something on the record, like somebody's gonna question.
So it might be the 26th.
We need that as a motion because it's
Well, maybe just-
postponed because of weather?
No, just mention that a motion, I'll do that, I'll word, that a motion was made via email to approve that, and now we're
Okay, because
scheduling.
we did.
I just want
Yeah,
something
we did that
that
previously,
to
right.
show that Steve didn't just flip off and decide to do this to Shihai with no consultation.
Okay, yeah, now.
I like Shihai, I don't know,
Yeah, now I remember.
Okay.
Good.
sorry,
Well, I
I'll
like
just
them
do
because
that.
they actually bid on the job.
Oh, yeah.
It makes it very helpful
Yes, it does.
when they did this. Jack, what do we have for money?
Well, it's our first month for the new fiscal year and everything, it's unremarkable. It's exactly where we expect to be. The balance sheet is good. Profit and loss budget versus actual, not going over anything yet, first month, so
Okay.
we're within our parameters, so we're in good shape. Nothing to point out on the papers.
Nothing spectacular. Any questions? Okay, good. Rhea, what about, oh. Was that being premature? No. Rhea, anything on the welcome committee?
Welcome committee, I've distributed one in the last month. Still have a couple back there. And we have supplies to assemble some additional buckets. But I think things have really slowed. I keep saying that, but I think it's true. Things are slowing rather noticeably.
Do we give those things to people who just buy a lot, or do they have to buy a house?
I
And
just
then if
want
they
to
build a house, then we give it to them?
I think by then they've missed it. I mean, I don't know. I don't
You just
know.
want the newly moving people that are moving in.
Well, yes, I mean, if
Yeah.
somebody came in
Yeah.
and, well, yes, I guess that I'm thinking about it, because it hasn't really happened.
Yeah.
Well, no, the reason
But
I,
if somebody came in and, because he'd have to put down a road bond,
Yeah.
and so I'd catch him that way, but then I would probably,
When Russ and Tara moved in on Lake Drive, they built that big house across it. Did they ever get a welcome bucket? Because they were the same thing, they built a house and they weren't there.
what was the last name?
I have it.
Up by Herman's, like across from
They're
Herman's?
right across from Kerr. You know,
Oh,
that brand new
gosh,
house?
probably, I'd have to look back.
I mean, whatever you did for them, do it for those other people that are building houses.
no,
Oh, sure,
the reason I asked is because there's a house going up, just up the street here on Lake.
yes.
And the corner property at Lake and Pine has been sold, and I figured the guy's gonna build a house.
Oh, we
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, I was just curious.
yeah. No, absolutely, I would give them one. I mean,
I don't question.
they may get lost in the
Yeah,
shuffle,
yeah.
but a lot of people don't respond to the letter I send anyway.
All right.
But when they do come in, if I have one to give them,
Yeah.
6 months.
I think that's
Pretty nice.
Oh, I
Looks
didn't
like
know.
that new house on Mills Creek
Mhm.
is already sold and is already being occupied.
Oh, is it? Okay. I don't know if I do seem to recall I've gotten that, but there, you know, the information on that, but that builder, he has a kind of a floating bond with us, because he's
Right.
also the one down here on Lake developing that one.
Okay.
So,
All right, Mike, let me skip you, because I want to come to
You skip me.
No,
No.
what do you have to say?
Whatever was on the list.
only
Only,
now.
only that in the environment, only that I have sent the photos, I'm still waiting to hear back from Mark Smith about the photos I sent him about the couple of areas that need Phragmites treatment as well. So,
John's not here. And now we come back to Mike, Planning Committee, and I guess it's also a good time to get into this improvement of the footbridge area, Planning Committee, and floor is yours.
Okay, well, on the beach, Rita and I went out and measured the beach, what was the date?
It was last Tuesday.
Yeah, anyway, she's got it logged
I
in.
have it, well, yeah.
It was 29 feet to at that time it was a fairly high tide, it was a high minor tide. So we measured it to the water line and it was about 29 feet. So what I want to do though is I want to set them up more on the equinox. So we'll probably look again towards the latter part of September and pick a high tide. There's some good high tides in the afternoon on those dates, so we'll look at that. We're gonna be gone for a few days there, so I gotta wait till my schedule works out.
are you still concerned that the spur isn't doing its job?
No,
No.
never have been concerned.
Yeah.
You just want to measure. You just-
We're measuring because there was some
Kurt-
community interest mentioned.
Kurt suggested that we ought to do that and benchmark and
It's not a bad idea.
it's not bad, so we'll do it.
Mike, what's the 29 feet you're measuring from?
From the pole, from the power pole to the water line.
Okay.
And then Rita's keeping a spreadsheet of all of our measurements. I took a picture that goes along with it, so
Yeah.
we'll just set that up on a quarterly basis.
Is all the sand that's to the left of the jetty, is that all new? Has that all been deposited there?
Yeah.
That came, yeah,
Yeah.
when Tony and I went down there several weeks ago.
Yeah.
We were surprised how much
How much,
sand there
how
was.
much beach
Beach
heat
there.
is suddenly
And
accumulated.
and some of it was covering the actual jetty.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Probably see some.
And the grasses are growing good,
Oh,
so
really?
Yeah, that's
maybe
good.
we'll,
Yeah.
maybe we'll allow the fence to
That would
naturally
be nice.
disappear.
Right.
I don't think the geese are gonna be bothering that grass.
Yeah, not if it's growing very well, they won't. Anyway, the next thing on the planning committee is this whole, well, is there any unfinished business?
Well, there's one other thing I wanted to just quickly mention for the planning committee before we get into something that might take longer. Joe has been saying, and I know he's right, I know the area, wanted to give it to Steve to look at, up on Calvert Drive. Does anybody know the Gabion Swale, when I talk about the Gabion Swale? None of you were on the board. Years ago, it was probably when Jeff first started with us, we had a bit of a washout. There's a curve on Calvert Drive, and it's rather a steep incline. And there's a parcel of property called the Barton parcel. They don't own it anymore, but it goes down steeply. And so there's this vacant lot, and so we had the road repaired, and Jeff suggested we install a Gabion swale, which is really just a big mesh, if you will, basket full of stones to disperse the water and so on. So that's down there, and it probably gets cleaned out, but Joe is wondering if maybe there shouldn't be a guardrail up there. And it is somewhat of a, you know, if somebody has to get way over, somebody's had a few drinks, you know, it could be an issue. So if I get the address for Steve to actually take a look at it, it just seems like maybe
Sounds like a
we should
reasonable
think
thing
about
to do.
doing
Yeah,
that.
it's a reasonable thing to look at, but let me throw something out there a little unorthodox. A curve like that makes people really slow down.
Well, it does, unless you're like,
Should.
unless you're an 18-year-old just learned to drive, coming home from
Not
a
what I
party
see
you
around-
shouldn't have been.
Not what I see around
You
here.
shouldn't have been at, and now you're down over the, that's a really steep
And
incline.
Well, then we call the cops.
So allow Darwin's principle to say.
Yeah, there are no lifeguards at the gene pool.
I imagine if you get over too far, there's no recovery.
Yeah,
I
well,
just
yeah,
think that we
let's
should be
look
held
at it.
liable if we know there's a,
Well, how many have we had run off?
we have it. You're right, we
And how
absolutely
many years
have
has it
it
been there?
forever.
Is it receded more lately?
I guess that's why I'd like Steve to take a look
Yeah,
at it.
let's
see if it's
look at it.
beginning to
We're gonna
erode
take a look,
again,
but
Yeah,
and-
let's look at it, is it eroding, is it receding, is it what?
Yeah.
But I mean, in the absence of anything ever happening there,
True,
Yeah, that's good.
true. But just take a look if you would and see what you think. Maybe just some backup like with stones and rocks for, to protect the edge of the road, and some signs that say curve ahead.
Is it something where if it's dark, it's a dark night, you wouldn't be able to see it
I
necessarily?
don't know if there are streetlights up there. I don't know.
I don't even know where it is, so.
Are
Well,
those
it's about
signs with arrows?
That's what I don't know if there's
Yeah.
See what you think, I don't know if there are, I asked Joe, I can drive out there myself. But if you'll stop in the office tomorrow, or whenever you have a chance, I'll show you on the map where it is.
Another the thing that's come up every now and then, and that's traffic calming.
I know, and I have it on my list to call Public Works, and I have that.
Okay. Did you ask Shihai about, like, putting in not a speed bump, but what they call traffic calming, you know, just the,
What do they call it? They don't call it a speed bump, they have another
Speed,
name.
I've heard speed maze, I've heard speed hump, I've heard of speed
well, they
hump.
call it a hump, but most places, when they have them, they put up signs that say traffic calming, like
Right.
that.
Oh,
And it's,
Yeah, they put the big white triangles on them.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
my daughter's neighborhood has one.
they're usually about 4 or 5 foot wide,
yeah.
and they're, you know, they're a gentle slope, so if you go over them too fast, you'll feel it, but it's not gonna break your
Right.
suspension on your
But
car.
Steve, didn't they give you a price on doing the sheet hunt?
They,
It's like 1,000 or 2,000?
yeah, they did for, I don't know if we did humps
No.
or big, but we talked about speed bumps.
Yeah. Then I found out that Maryland or maybe the commissioners have done a policy where communities like ours can contact Public Works, and they will come and look at the situation and guide us through and say, well, you can't do it because it's too close to an intersection, and
Right.
there's this, and there's a curve, and there's various things that would prohibit you from doing it. And they would be able to guide us, and it's been on the list for a month, and I just keep moving it forward. But I will, it's on my
But
list.
the prime suspect will be Lake.
Like, I think
Because
that would be
that
the
seems
only
to be the
one.
drag strip that
Oh, yeah.
everybody
And-
complains
And
about.
especially,
Can't do Berea,
No.
because
coming from each direction, from Pine on the lake and from the
Yeah.
lake around that bend.
Yeah. Right, so anyway, I do have it. I'll prioritize.
Well, I think that's precisely the problem where you can't put it where it's going around the bend, and that's where
Well, you have to be
both
before,
directions-
yeah, yeah.
both
yeah,
directions
you're right.
there, that's where people do go a
Yeah.
little fast,
And
I'll
it can't be
admit.
too close to an
but-
intersection.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And there's
Yeah.
a
There's a-
sort of a
yeah.
T there, and it's a curve,
yeah.
that may be a losing battle.
yeah, but the straightaway out here.
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh, yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Now,
that's
one
good.
time we talked at the meeting about, a white stripe before you get to the stop sign there.
Yeah.
That never happened.
We have, well, it's on Joe's list, he bought the paint,
Okay.
so it's, he just hasn't done it. Yeah. And I don't know if that would, might trigger somebody who's willing to stop. Oh, yeah, that's right, and stop, but,
Oh, you're gonna stripe
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the sign, you know, like it.
Side to
Yeah.
side, yeah.
Right.
just to catch people's eye,
Yeah.
he just hasn't done it.
Well, be that as it may. Then the other thing is this whole easement and the improvement of this walkway. And I think the part of the walkway that is sort of eroding away is, I think it's the part that would be facing this lot too. That little strip in there, it seems to me like it's getting more and more slanted.
It starts, no, but it really actually starts at Mid Ruth's house when we're walking along.
Yeah, but that's all fine, that's all flat and
It's
every,
sort of
the part that I'm
like
worried, the piece that I'm worried about is I think it's the piece in front of lot number 2 here, because it goes from flat and it seems to me like it's sloping more and more.
Oh,
By the footbridge.
Before the footbridge, when it gets to the footbridge again, it's flat. It's,
You say before, from which direction?
okay, if you're moving from,
Mid Ruth's house?
from lot
From
30,
Okay.
if you're moving from lot 30 to lot 2,
Mhm.
in, oh my goodness, well, there's 2 lot 2s. Well, the lot 2
It's a
that
different
is,
section.
yeah, that is above lot 1,
Right.
right in
The
front
one
of
on,
it.
Oh,
the one on
okay.
Surf.
Yeah, right there, that seems to me like it's sloping more every day.
That's what you're talking about this lot too.
No,
Okay.
you're
I
right.
noticed it, it could be.
And then it's the flooding that takes place down here. See, I don't know exactly where the footbridge is on this little map, I don't know where the creek
It would be
is.
by lot 5, right? Isn't it?
No.
No, it's,
No.
what is it, Ridge Road?
No,
It's
it's
on
way,
lot,
somewhere,
it's on lot 1.
Between 1 and
Which-
2 and 1.
it's somewhere
Between like
between,
1 and 2,
Oh,
or
okay.
in that little
Oh,
dog right
that's right,
there.
you're right. That
Uh,
would be-
Where the yellow,
Right there.
where the yellow is.
Yeah.
yeah, and I don't know
Yeah.
what side of the bridge this access is on, but you know, what we really ought to
The
do.
access is, okay, the
Yeah, yeah, I see.
footbridge is in this area here.
Yeah.
This easement, this side of that.
Mhm.
But,
I think you've gone over too far for the, I think.
Well, I don't know, it's in this
way
area.
down here.
It's in
Yeah,
this
I thought it
area
was like right here, because that's where
No, it's not right.
Martinez's lot is here,
Yeah.
and it's right by Martinez's lot.
Yeah, it's on the side
It's on
of
the side of
Martinez's
Martinez's
lot.
lot.
I'm assuming that the place that was cleared is the easement, but it's not.
No,
and
it's
that's-
not.
Well, how do we know?
Yeah, that's
Just
true.
I only say, because we don't know, because we don't know where his lot ends and these 2 lots
Maybe
begin.
make it out here. There's that other easement there.
Yeah, the bridge is.
Where that creek is.
Well, yeah, it's right here.
Yeah, and I think, and this is Martinez's lot here, and I think the easement, I don't know what side of the creek the easement is on.
Oh, I don't know either. I mean, that inlet? that
Yeah.
little inlet.
Well,
Is it part of?
what, the place that was cleared is on this
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
But I don't know.
See, we don't know, but the other thing that we really ought to do is do it right. Get whatever permits we need from whoever we need, get that ending creek area there cleaned out so the water
Well, partly
flows,
with-
put in rocks.
Guess
or
what?
whatever.
it's been done before and it just fills in.
But Martinez
So
made
it's-
it, Martinez made it worse though.
Well,
Because he started-
Martinez
when he was
cleared,
building
he
the-
cleared some shrubbery
And
and,
put some stuff in there?
and the side collapsed
He
and
did,
the
he did
bank
it for a while
collapsed.
when he was building his little.
When was it done? When was it done correctly?
It was never done through, it was never done in my time here,
Mhm.
that I
Oh,
recall.
that's a long time.
Well,
With
no,
permits
there-
and MDD
some of that
and-
sand was scooped out and,
Yeah,
and then it filled back in.
yes, but wouldn't there be a way that you would not just scoop it out, because I know we have Carl
You have to
do
put
it.
a culvert or something in there.
Yes, actually do it, when I say properly, I don't know exactly what, but like stones, like to hold up the side of that
Well, stones wouldn't
drainage area, well, I don't know, I'm just saying,
work, because it's gonna
something,
fill
a
back in.
culvert then maybe?
The natural coastal process is gonna fill it in
Yeah, I understand what you're saying,
until it rains hard enough to wash it back out
okay.
again.
Wash it back
Unless you spend a lot of money and put in,
yeah,
you know, some really fancy culvert that you can block this from, you know,
yeah,
just like down on Bay Drive.
so maybe it doesn't make any sense. I mean, when you
Maybe,
think about it,
maybe
there's
it's a
no,
lost cause.
no place to really, no real reason that anybody would want to access that particular area,
But they do, but that's the
They
whole
do.
problem, people
because they
do
think there's
access.
two lots
Yeah,
on,
people do go down on that beach, I
Mhm,
see
they do,
them
yeah,
there all the
that's true.
time.
yeah.
That's true.
Well, at the very least, I don't know, would it make sense to put a sign there saying, like we have on Bay Drive, you know, DPPOA beach, shoreline access, or however it should be worded? This person that came in, the same guy that did the
Mr. Machete.
Mr. Machete was all up in arms because we haven't marked all of the easements. And I explained to him that so many of them are just not anything possible that you could access the
Yeah,
water
yeah, yeah.
unless you want to go down a 90-degree incline.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't even know what but you know, a steep incline. And this would have been one that in my mind could have been developed years ago.
Mm.
Improved, not developed, improved. Because it is relatively flat and it is close to the water and so on. Do we want to put a sign there? I don't
Well, you know, what we have to do first is, I think,
You should-
is find out exactly where it is.
Now we're talking about a survey.
Yeah,
Well, how much is a survey going to cost?
I don't know, I haven't.
Couple
I mean, I
$100
think it was-
bucks.
Oh, I think they're more than that,
They're not cheap.
like 1,000.
I've got 100-foot tape, and we know pretty much where this is. And this homeowner ought to know where this is.
yeah.
So we ought to be able to measure this and see where we're at.
These things in the water here.
Yeah.
Probably a bit.
That's the old jetty, that's the old jetty, but we don't know where that is.
Can't see him unless you.
Yeah, no, that's the old jetty, I know, the creek runs right almost into the jetty, or.
Would that have been on this lot number 2 here?
Yeah, this mentions there having been a fishing pier or something. Oh, no.
No, you know, it's,
Never mind.
you know, I guess that's the whole thing. is
Would it
we-
make sense for me to contact the Hassans who own the house across from these two lots?
And ask them what.
If they have a survey of these. If they have a survey of their property, wouldn't that tell us
Well,
where
yeah, and do
our
they,
easement is?
you know, it's possible that they have corner, whatever they call them in
Stones
survey.
or whatever, yeah.
Because I know I have them on my
Markers.
house, or at least on
I'll-
one side.
I'll get in touch with Mrs. Hassan and ask if she
Yeah,
has
if
that.
she has it.
He might, Mr. Martinez, because at one time he wanted to do more, he wanted to do the gazebo and realized MDE says for whatever reason, but he might even have a survey.
Yeah, you know, if somebody has a survey mark, then we have something we can start with.
There
See,
should
based
be
on,
a survey mark in the ground somewhere.
If it's been
Yeah,
surveyed.
Yeah, or it may have rusted
I
out.
mean, yeah, there should be a plate somewhere where they start when they do theirs.
Right.
Well,
this whole thing may have eroded back.
Yeah,
too,
well,
so-
yeah, that's the other.
But if you look at, if you look at this drawing, and you look at this house,
Mhm.
and this, which is lot 15, and lot 2 is basically, starts about here and comes down.
No, you're up too high.
No, look at the lot, and look at,
Oh, yeah,
Just
yeah,
lot
that's,
two is-
yeah, that's Bruce and Megan's house.
Yeah,
I didn't
lot two
realize
is
that Lake.
offset a little bit from, see
Yeah,
how,
oh, you know what, yeah, what that shows is that Lake starts here somewhere. I thought this was all surf.
yeah, I thought it was too.
So-
Right, the one that runs parallel.
well, who knows if this is right, this,
Yeah.
I don't know if this is really Lake or Surf, we know that that's the old road.
Yeah, that's the old road, that's the jetty in front of at Megan's house. And then this goes down,
Here's Min Boo's place, and here's that.
The well
oh,
rings.
yeah,
The
yeah,
well
yeah,
rings.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. the
And this is Martinez's lot
Yeah,
here,
that's right.
and this, so this lot is offset a little bit from lot 15.
Mhm.
So it basically, if you look at this, and if it's anywhere near accurate, that easement's right in here.
So I know that Worldman's do have a survey, but she sent it to me, actually, I might have it in email somewhere.
Wow.
Worldman's are the next place down with the swimming pool,
Oh, okay,
that's Worldman.
and
And I might have their survey.
the road going along Min Boo's property, at the end, that area, that, near the well rings there,
Yeah.
that sometimes floods completely.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
this whole corner right here,
Sometimes it's completely
it's
underwater.
just gone, you know.
But sometimes it recedes and we have a little beach.
Yep.
It's ever changing.
Anyway.
So, okay, I'll see if I can't find somebody with a survey.
Yeah, we gotta find out where the actual access is there, then we can figure out what we have to do. And if that creek has been cleaned out before and it just fills up again, well, then there's not much we can do about the flooding that takes place down there, or,
Right.
But how often should we clear out that creek?
Well, technically, that requires permits.
yeah, that's it.
Unless you talk to the guy since retired from Public Works, who tells you to go in at midnight and just get it done.
Get it
Wink,
done.
wink.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
but that's
Got it.
really not the way.
I know.
That can get you into a little bit of trouble.
He's retired, he doesn't care.
Good.
Pretty sure.
Oh, my.
So, no, I don't think we should do that.
But,
But
yeah,
like you're right, it does, it fills back in, storms and tides and, I don't know. Anyway,
well, find out if they know anything about
Okay.
survey marks,
okay,
and maybe they're a little more than a rusted pipe like Bonnie has at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
edge of her property by the
There was
water.
a pipe and,
I have a nice stainless steel pipe at the front of the
whole
house.
body down?
Yeah, hey.
yeah, mine looks like it's really a hazard.
It looks like it's a health hazard. Anyway, well, enough about that, we can't go anywhere. We don't have any unfinished business, or do we?
Well, we did, but we took care of the
Oh,
present.
that's right.
I just wanted to do, I don't know if it's unfinished business, probably should have been in the office report. Just on the cameras, because we bought them from Amazon and not Verizon, Verizon is not honoring the promotion. And if I do the math for the year, we had budgeted for 70 a month. It's going to be 90 a month. But for because it came in, install price came in less for, I would call fiscal year March to March, we're going to be over the proposed amount by $145 for this year. So that's the proposed amount, still under budget, but over $144. So I thought it was worth mentioning.
What can we do about that?
He's been working really hard to try to get them to honor it.
Mm.
Obviously,
Well, interestingly enough is, and they've honored it because I've been a pain in their butt for the last 6 months and have another month. But it will, like I said, it'll be $20 per month over.
So this is for Verizon cell?
Yeah, Verizon cell, so I,
Yeah, that's our only option is Verizon.
No, I think actually, we started in March and our contract is up in March, so we could
Okay.
look
Mhm.
for other vendors.
Mhm.
So I, you know, March to March isn't syncing up with our fiscal year. So that $144 will be through March of '25, and then we, for my opinion, I'll go look for somebody else.
Right.
But I see, you know, AT&T has one too, so.
Didn't we, I know when we first started working on this, I had asked about using Comcast mobile, and I think you said you couldn't do that for some reason.
Comcast didn't have our level. The two competitors
Oh.
are T-Mobile and Verizon.
Mm.
So
Oh, okay.
T-Mobile, we could tomorrow, if they had a better price, switch and it'd be invisible. So,
But some of the other vendors are not compatible.
not with those particular cameras. They have a solution, you know, their camera is the same as that camera. So there are alternatives. I think, you know, I felt compelled to say we're $144 over proposed, under budget,
Yeah.
and then in the end, come January, we'll take a look, you know, to share, so.
I'll make a note for next year's budget too.
Do we need a motion to approve the 120 over budget? No? Okay, fine.
Well, it's actually not over budget, it's over proposed.
Over proposed, yeah, I'm sorry.
It's actually, it'll prove to be still about 480 under
Yeah, you're
the
right.
budget
Wrong
that I
word.
proposed.
Wrong word.
And that's a good,
So if I was working for certain corporations, I could definitely sell this as we're plus 480. But working for folks that I want to live with, we're minus 144.
All right, anything else?
No.
Anybody else? Then the next thing is scheduling our next meeting. And the next meeting takes place right around,
the day after Labor Day, actually.
Third.
It's the first Tuesday in September.
That would be the third.
does anybody have a problem with the day after Labor Day?
I'm available, no problem.
Not right now.
So shall we just make it the day after Labor Day?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Done.
Wow.
All right, well, then the meeting's adjourned.
That was a good one.
Yeah, never, this thing is turning into such a,
It is.
but you know, I don't
Oh,
understand why.
Jenny, are you still there?
Oh,
Yeah,
Bye, Jenny.
I'm glad you could come. Take care, Al.
All right, have a
See
good
you
one.
later.
Thank you for calling in.
Yeah.
You know, I don't understand why somebody would have written access to Bay 4 due to erosion problem, no reason to develop.
Yeah,
They're talking about that access.
I don't know.
Doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make any sense at all,
Where is
because,
the, is it, oh, where you highlighted it, yes,
because there's nothing there to erode.
yeah.
I don't know.
Where did this list come?
Unless some
I
board,
found that in when I was cleaning out the files.
unless some board member who's nearby it.
Well, that was-
put that
When
out.
was this written?
I would have to double check, or probably the 80s or 90s,
Oh,
when properties were transferring between Kermit
When
and
Martinez lot
CRP.
still had,
Land.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
so that's the erosion,
Wow.
right?
Well,
Yeah, that sounds like an.
But no, but I tend to think Mike might be right here. I think this may be the other side of the creek.
Maybe
I
the
mean,
access,
I don't know.
the access
I'm
might
pretty
be on
sure
the
it
other
is.
side?
I think that's pretty close to where he cleared.
Who was he?
well, it may be
Mr.
the
Machete.
shed. So it may be that Martinez's lot comes further and is closer to where he cleared. I mean, I was just sort of envisioning,
Yeah,
by
but
looking at it, where,
it may be that creek runs through the edge of
The very line.
Martinez's
yeah,
lot, but even though it's on his lot, he still can't play with it.
No,
you
No,
know.
right.
yeah.
Oh, he definitely plays with
Oh, I know he
Yes,
did.
he does.
Oh, I know he did.
Well,
cut down a couple small trees and trimmed a lot of vegetation out on the bank. And at first it was flowing, and he did actually clear the creek a little, and it was flowing nicely, then the bank that he cleared collapsed into it. Like the guy said, go out there at the full moon and shovel it out.
I guess.
Oh, well.
All right, okay.